Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast for July 23rd. Kristin, can you believe that we are almost out of this month?
No, August is around the corner. We are officially in Leo season. It's wild that we're already here in the year.
Oh, it's crazy. And you and Lucky Stars will have your report out this coming weekend, or maybe a little before. We'll see. Okay, we are going to be talking now about Libra rising, and we have a great chart for this because, in particular, we can take a look at some of the positions because of these natal planets. We're going to show you some things that you can do in your own chart to analyze this. So just a little bit of review as we're at the halfway mark here. As we started all of this, well, we didn't start sequentially, but the idea was we started with Aries at the rising sign. So that puts the first house in play, transformation of the self. And then we talked about groups in the 11th, so transformation around our friends and people that we come in contact with. Our career in the 10th, spirituality in the 9th, transformation itself in the 8th, our relationships and our partners in the 7th. And now we've come all the way over here to the 6th, and we're going to be talking about our areas of daily life.
Daily life, when it comes to the sixth house, is so much about your routines because health is a part of this house as well. Health being something that you do on the daily and what those days add up to a month and what a month of consistency can do for the body and the mind. I think with this chart too, there is a bit of a relationship part with Aries ruling the seventh house. So day-to-day devotions to other people is a big part of this conversation.
All right. So for those of you who are Libra rising, you're probably going to be affected depending on your degrees. And let's just note that she is a late degree ascendant. So depending on where that is, you'll be at the end of the 7th or into the 6th. Pluto, the big planet of transformation for her, is in here in the 4th house. So, Kristin, obviously we're looking at around home and family, and then as Pluto moves through Aquarius, it's going to hit Jupiter, and that's always big.
Yeah, definitely. It's a once in a lifetime transit, and so having Pluto conjunct Jupiter, it is a transformation of your ideals, and maybe a new community can be a part of this conversation too. There's a couple other places I see that as well.
Now, here's something that you can do with the pyramid on your own chart. As you look around, obviously we've mentioned that you should be finding the players. So she has Uranus right on her ascendant, so that's going to be a big transformation of self. And it's in the very late degrees of Libra. So as Uranus moves through over 7 years and finally gets over here, that's going to be moving into a trine. So Uranus in the pyramid has Uranus in her chart in sights, obviously. But look at this one. This one is interesting. We're going to circle Pluto, and then that's the part of fortune. But look, you can draw a kite to the pyramid. And I don't think we've done that before.
With Pluto being a slower moving planet, anybody who has that early degree Libra will have a kite created with this formation. And so I think generationally that this is a transformation of relationships. And, when it comes to Saturn and Neptune being at the apex, I think that spiritually and just the way that you relate to people is a big part of this transit. And of course, the houses being a Libra rising is kind of what makes this an extra level relationship conversation. But for other people, that kite could be facing a different direction.
Yeah, that's what I say is you have to find these and then look with your eyes and say, wow, does that connect there? Does that connect there? Because there's another one that Kristin just mentioned with Saturn here at the point of 0 degrees Aries is in a square to her natal Saturn. Now we're drawing, this is obviously aspects not in her natal chart, but then look at this. It's also in a square over here to natal Pluto, and that does show up. So now all of a sudden, Kristin, we have a T-square on top of this kite.
Yeah, going through the closing square of Saturn to Saturn, this is a transformational time in general. This is well, you do get two squares within 30 years, but about a 15-year gap in between those. So now with this transit, it is a transformation, especially for them around family and the conversation of creativity or children, because it's activating that fourth and fifth house, with those being the Saturn ruled signs.
And see, you can almost kind of take a look at what we're dealing with age-wise because she's Pluto in Libra. Well, that's in the 1970s, but also Saturn, as Kristin was just saying, is on its way back to that second Saturn return, and that's going to be in about 6 or 7 years for her, 8 years. So you kind of know about what we're dealing with here, and that is going to be this transformational path as it moves across to natal Saturn. Another thing that's interesting, so you have Saturn at 3 degrees Cancer. Her sun is at 3 degrees. And then look here, so when Uranus, now it just is coming in here, so it's at 1, and it is going to have a retrograde, but eventually it will get to 3. It's going to be super connected to Pluto there, even at 6, but that 3 is a window. So obviously 3 is kind of a number here, Kristin. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that will create that Uranus and Sun opposition. And as a aspect that I hold natally, I think that it can create some wanting to step out and be a little bit against the mold.
Well, that's true. And it will shake her conventionality as well from that
Mhm.
sense. And the other thing, this is obviously all about transformation and transformative things. And 3 is kind of a pop out number. So when you see a degree that you have several planets connecting in your own chart, then you can go back in your mind and do the multiples of 3. And you could even, because this is so much about transformation, go all the way back to age 3 in this particular case and start to inquire of what might have happened around age 3 that right now the universe is giving us the blessing of dealing with. And by the way, if you'd like to see more on this, we talked about this in the Saturn Return webinar, which is right on our funastrology.com website now, and there's a link there straight to the YouTube. So if you'd like to get to it really quick, just go on the newly designed funastrology.com page and scroll down, and you'll see it down there under the resources or under the learning, and it just clicks right straight to YouTube.
One other thing I really want to point out is that Saturn is creating a trine to the Sun and as well as a trine to the midheaven. When it comes to inspiration or being able to create a persona that you're really happy with and building a community, now is your time to shine. Saturn is here to build stability around those things. And so this is really a transit that can help you kind of come out of your shell and find the people that will really help uplift you.
Wow, that's a good point too. And there's some real positives inside this chart just natally. She has this beautiful mystic rectangle, so she has a lot of really good connections in here. So with this, as these planets move from these positions, is they are going to be throwing these aspects to her natal chart, and that's where the growth is going to occur. That's where the transformation is going to happen because it's going to activate all the symbolisms of these planets. And that's the intention of what we're doing here, is not to read this chart, but to show you, dig in there and look at your own chart and connect the dots the way we've been doing here. And particularly those of you who are Libra rising, hope that shows you the quadrant of the chart that it's going to be affecting the most.
I will be back with you guys tomorrow for the Leo New Moon podcast. Thank you all for watching.